What's up, guys? My name is Derek and I'm here with my beautiful wife Monica, and you just tuned into the Blanco Bronco Adventures channel. And today we've got a big issue with the Bronco. We're getting a bunch of paint chips throughout the doors because of these massive 35-inch tires from the factory. But I think what's in these boxes are going to help take care of our problem. Because believe me, the only chips I like are Doritos Cool Ranch. Let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so the big issue that we're having is we're noticing that we're getting a bunch of paint chips going up the doors on both sides of this rig. These big tires, they find every rock in the road and they end up throwing them and beating the heck out of the side of this thing. So what we got here, I think, is the perfect thing to resolve the problem that we're having. We got with our buddies over at ROKBLOKZ, and they sent us over a full set all the way around of their Sasquatch package rock blocks for this Bronco. But let's come in and take a closer look and see what kind of damage we're talking about. So, this is just the example on our passenger door here. We've got a pretty decent rock chip there. Moving back, we also have one right here coming onto our second door back. And then, noticing on the fender flare here, we're getting a whole bunch of pitting in the plastic because of all the rocks coming back from the front tires and not being caught before that. As some of you might think, this isn't a huge issue. Well, to us it is. And I think with the product that we've got from ROKBLOKZ, we'll be able to stop this from happening altogether. Alright guys, so here's our ROKBLOKZ opened up here on the table. This is how you receive them from the company direct. We don't need that box where we're going. Here's the thing, there's some assembly required. So you're going to have to take some time and read the instructions. But ROKBLOKZ has hooked you up. There's a QR code right on their instructions where you can scan this with your smartphone and have all the instructions right at your fingertips. No extra paper. That's nice. They send a smarty. If they send a smarty, they're saying you're smart and you can do this, because if we can do it, you can do it. So let's finish opening these all up and we'll get to the assembly process. Alrighty guys, so per the instructions, so what we're going to want to do is take your left front mud flap, logo side up, take these nuts in here, and you can see that these are all trimmed out for a nut to click into. So they say you can simply press and get these popped in, and if not, you just pull out a big ass hammer and just smash them in there. They say not to hit them too hard, but what's the fun in listening to everything? So first step, let's get all these in. That one pressed in real easy. I think I scared it. Extension. That's what they failed to tell you. Boom. And just like that, once all your nuts are sunk into the front of the mud flap, here again where you can see the logo, all you have to do, flip this over, and then per their recommendation, use some thread lock. You go using red, you might never get it out of there again. So go with the blue. Take and just use a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. We're just going to take and put a little drip on each one of these. So that way when we tighten in our Allen head here, it's already there waiting for us. That seemed like a lot. It's fine. You don't have to worry about it. Then we take our plates, and what we want to do is make sure that all of the logos or the words are facing down towards this plate here. So first one goes on just like this, and then our next one, here again, we have our words here, ROKBLOKZ logo facing down, goes on just like this. Then we're going to take these little Allens, I believe these are 1/2 inch, an 1/8 inch head on there, and get these bottom ones started in, and just get them snug, is what they say. We'll listen to them for now. Now I'm thinking about Doritos. Get those in. Then they send this plate that reinforces these mud flaps, because here again we're just dealing with plastic, so we want to make sure that they're actually braced up. These ones go in just like so. That's what we're going to want to do. Let's put in the 3 up top. Here again, just get them snug. Then there's also one small one here. Leave these 2 empty. I'll show you why in a minute. Then they say, yeah, I did a lot of Loctite. It's fine. I won't be the one taking them off. So what they say is you're going to want to watch, and as you're tightening these up, you want to just go to where these are snug and you don't oversink these nuts into the plastic. So that's why we went snug at first. Simply take your Allen, put it in there as you're tightening it up. Whoa, right there. Just as soon as it sinks in, that's all you got to do. I need a Smartie. So glad they send food. Makes it so much better. Those guys are awesome. And just like that, you've assembled one of the mud flaps. One thing that the instructions don't really tell us for sure is which bracket we need, but the way you can identify it is when you put these locks on, the little bump portion needs to go into this channel here. So that way, when this bolts into the vehicle, these will be up against the inner fender side of it. So all you have to do is take these guys, there's 2 of them, give a nice push, get them on there, grab another one, again with that bump on the side where it has that lip coming off of there. Just like that. And again, this is the left front. So once you get those little gold pieces on here, so what you're going to need to do is locate your lock pieces that are actually going to attach the rock blocks to this bracket that will eventually bolt to the Bronco itself. In that case, this rock block, we're going to be able to see the logo from the back side. So this piece is going to go on just like so. So that way, inside the fender well, you'll have these 2 screws that you can pin these rock blocks on and off as you're out on the trail. So if you're going up some steep rocks and things and you don't want to potentially drag these or break them off, you can literally jump out, undo these 2 set screws, and simply take off the entire plastic portion of the mud flap, leaving the bracket to be able to put them back on later down the trail. So once you get those in there, literally your entire rock block is now assembled for the left front. I think at this point we'll build all the rest of them and then we'll actually get to the installation process. Let's get it done. Alrighty, so now it's time to assemble our rear mud flap. So what you're going to want to do is take your nuts on the side where the letters are printed into the plastic. Your nut's going to go down into that. These can be kind of stiff. You can use a mallet like they recommend, but on this table I can't get a good hit on it without jumping everything off the table. So we'll just use our extension and push these guys in. They are really stiff, actually. So the back ones are actually really stiff, so I think we will use the mallet to get these ones in. The front ones weren't as stiff. I guess the tighter they are, the less likely they are to fall out. go back to the bench. Alrighty, now that you got those nuts in place, a little bit of Loctite on there. Flip that guy over just like that. And then when your mud flap comes down, then we're going to want to take this, flip it over, and then with our logo facing up, line this up on here. Then we're going to take this guy, lines up just like that. The letters being printed into here, all the letters remain up on the back ones. Front ones, all the labeling went down. And on the front, or on the rear, you have two different size screws. You've got a short one and a long one. You're gonna have 3 short ones that go in this side, only going through 3 layers. Then you're gonna have your long one going through the 5 others, going through all 4 layers. Here again, just get them snug for the first bit, and then we'll go through and tighten them when we can watch and make sure we're not pulling that nut through the plastic. There's quite a bit of assembly to these for the expense of them. You'd think some of this would come pre-done, but what's the fun in that? Flip it up. Just make sure as you're tightening these up, you don't pull that nut through the plastic. As soon as it goes flush, that's where you want to stop. It is recommended that after you have these on for some mileage, to double check that these aren't backing out, because the plastic can flex. I think that it might have that chance, but I think a little bit of Loctite goes a long ways. And then clean up your residual Loctite so you don't make a mess like I've already done. Fine. Then your little deals on here pop down in here. These are kind of stiff as well. The little domed side does go out towards the rock block emblem, and then your bracket slides into place just like so. And then your bolts that you can pin it on and off with, just simply go through the back side here and then thread right into that little gold piece you put on. And just like that, we've assembled the rear flap. So now we'll build the other one, and then we'll actually get to put these things on the Bronco. Alrighty, so now let's take and put on the rear. All you're gonna need is a 5/8. Might as well use a tool, it's fun. We've been using nothing but hand tools, so power, let's do it. Okay, so once you're under the Bronco, you're gonna need to locate this bolt right here and this bolt right here. Take off those 2 nuts that are on the Bronco already, and then all you're gonna have to do is take and put this bracket up in there, which is holding onto our rock block, and then this should go in about something like that. So first step, remove those bolts or nuts, nut and bolts. Lucky for us, we haven't been off-roading too much, so you don't have to put on your safety squints under this one yet. As you guys know, we've only been in the sand. We're going to change that for sure. And this guy just jumps right into place. And then I can put your nut in your extension. Huh?
This washer.
Oh. So first you're going to want to put on your provided washer. Get that in there. And then get your nut started on. And then take and put another washer on. Start it on. And then tighten those guys down. And then we left our rock block just a little bit loose so we had some movement on it, but we're going to make sure it is pulled all the way in as much as possible. Right there. And then tighten it on. And just like that, that is installed on the rear. So now let's jump to getting the front one put on. You're going to need a 3/4 inch socket, power tool, again, might as well. Then you're going to need the two 3/4 inch bolts that come with the rock blocks. The first thing we're going to do is take out the bolt that comes from the factory if we were to have the crash bar. Now these are the Sasquatch fender or mud flaps, but they are not the long ones. So the long ones come down quite a bit more, way closer to the ground. Although they serve a purpose, personally we like the look of the shorter ones, but these are the Sasquatch XL, I believe is what they're called. So let's put it on. So you're going to want to remove this bolt. This comes factory. With a Sasquatch, you don't have the crash bar that would be here. So you just simply remove this bolt and set it to the side. Just like that. And then what you're going to want to do is our rock block, this bracket will sit right on top of where that bolt just came out of. And then we're going to take our two bolts that came with the rock blocks and simply make sure we have the washer on it and drop it straight down through the top and get it to go into that nut where that bolt just came out of. And then take your second one, and then there's this point where you can put another bolt through where there was not anything. Take and get it started through as well. To make this a little bit easier, I'm going to remove our mud flap. Just take out these two set screws. This is how you'd release it if you were on the trail. Just take it right out of the way. That way it gives us a little more access. Because of the close quarters in here, a ratchet's going to be much better to tighten up this. This is kind of hard because you're pushing up against the inner fender here, so it kind of wants to rock you off of the top of this bolt, but push back on it and it will start going down. Nice and tight, just like that. And then this one, I actually pull this bolt back out. I'm going to pull this right out of the way and hold that back. Just to give us more room to be able to get our ratchet in there. And you want to go tight enough that you just get 2 knuckle pops. That's tight enough. Then that should go right back to where it was. Then we can reinstall our rock block. This comes in here. Get this set in there. And just like that, we just installed our front passenger rock block. Pretty slick. I think by moving magic, we'll put it into hyperspeed on the next two. The real test is going to be to see if all of our paint stays on our doors. We're going to go through, we're going to touch up all the different little paint chips that we already do have, and then start going down gravel roads just like this thing needs to. We'll see if all the paint stays on. Any new chips, we know that these ROKBLOKZ aren't working. Any more road rash on here from rocks flying back and hitting our fender flares, we know they're not working. But I do have a lot of confidence in it. When you take and look at this, when the tire is fully turned like it is now, all those rocks are going out past the Bronco. We won't have any issues there. But when the tire is turned straight, you can see that the rock block is actually sticking out about an inch more than our factory fender flares. So that should protect the Bronco from here on out. You guys know what time it is. ROKBLOKZ sent us a sticker, a Blanco sticker. It's kind of going to hide in plain sight on our back door here, but I do think that they deserve a spot on the Bronco. The only thing that I definitely recommend if you're watching ROKBLOKZ is you got to pump up your customer service. We like to call, make sure you have what we're ordering on hand, and if you don't, let us know how long it's going to be. We waited for your product for quite a while. We're finally excited to have it on here. We're going to put them to use, but that's the only thing that we did notice through our experience of buying your product. So we're still going to put your sticker on our Bronco. And just like that, ROKBLOKZ are officially on our 2022 Ford Bronco WildTrak. Thanks for watching this video, guys. We'll put a link in the description where you can get these ROKBLOKZ for yourself. We're going to put them to the test, and this isn't the last time we're talking about them. We'll definitely make sure we're not getting any more chips coming onto the doors. If we are, we'll let you guys know, and if we're not, we'll definitely let you guys know. Thanks for watching. Remember, get off the couch and go start your own adventure. We'll see you next time.
Bronco Bronco Wildtrak.